Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be looking at the book 13 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl by Mona Awad. Now, before I go into the summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. All right. This book is a very interesting book. I think it really gives you a um, very detailed picture of what it's like to be a woman and obese in America. Um, I mean, you can apply it to different countries. It doesn't have to be specifically to America, but it really gives you the perspective of a woman who is heavily obese. And the character, the protagonist that we follow in this work by the name of Elizabeth, she has been a big girl since she was a kid. And we're given all these um, excerpts, these situations where her weight is this thing that isolates her, this thing that shames her, this thing that just keeps beating her down. It affects every part of her life. Of course, we know that this affects her romantic relationships, as told throughout, several times throughout the work. Um, it's very dark in terms of romantic relationships because this is a big part. So, for women, beauty and attractiveness, it's something that you can't escape. If you are a female, you're a woman, it's just something that you can't escape. I think in society, men can get away with just looking, um, just wild. But for women, no matter if you're just, you're not trying to get attention, sexual attention in any way, for women, it's always the idea that you have to look presentable some way or another. Um, Sometimes it's just for yourself, sometimes it's just for your friends, sometimes it's just in society. That's the standard. No matter what country, no matter where you go on earth, women are just held at the standard. You need to look presentable, you need to look beautiful. That's just how it is. And if you don't do that, you will be bullied. So for women, the desire to look beautiful, the desire to be presentable, it's not, some people might simplify it and just say, well, it's just for men and for sex and for romance. But no, if you're a woman and you don't look presentable, you don't look beautiful, you don't look attractive, you're not that standard, you're not reaching that standard of beauty in some way or fashion, you will be bullied, you will be put down, you will be overlooked. You might lose some opportunities. If you're a woman and you look unhealthy, there will be companies, there will be job interviews that don't go well. If you don't fit the role, and this is in general, it applies to men sometimes too. It's just if you look unhealthy in the world, people will judge you, people will make fun of you, and this does bother your self esteem, your confidence. And for a lot of women, it pushes you towards depression and sadness, loneliness, and isolation. Because many people who are obese or extremely obese, yeah, society just tells you to stay home. Don't come outside because you're going to get those looks. And Elizabeth here with her friend Mel, since they were kids, no matter where they go, I mean, even within this work, they just go to a McDonald's and men are looking at them. Um, I mean, it could be for their size or because it gets pretty creepy and weird within this work because some men have fetishes for bigger women. Elizabeth marries this man by the name of Tom, and Tom has this obsession with big women. One thing that leads to their divorce within the work is Tom's, he's looking at pornography with big women, and his wife is trying to lose weight. So it's very kind of strange that your husband knows that you're losing weight or you're trying to be more healthy, and he apparently likes big women, and he's watching pornography that caters to um, that that need. So that right there is very dark and morbid because did he only marry Elizabeth because of his fetish? So that's something that nowadays with the sexual landscape, people have these just demonic fetishes. Um, it's not the person that they're attracted to. It's not the person's beauty or the person's character. They just have these weird fetishes that are that are focused on the fetish. So it's a very this book is really telling a lot about certain sexual desires that people have nowadays that are pretty dark. Um, so Elizabeth, even as an adolescent girl, because if you're an adolescent girl and you're overweight, you might look older than, um, you know, you are. Mel, who is Elizabeth's best friend within this work, with the McDonald's incidents, she thinks the men are admiring her because of her breasts, because she's a big girl, and she thinks that they're admiring her, and she likes the attention, and from childhood, you can see that she is going towards that male attention seeking type of personality, and she'll do what she can to be the spotlight when it comes to sexual attention from the opposite sex. Elizabeth, throughout the work, we're seeing her grow. We're seeing her change from one character to another. We see multiple name changes for her. We see her change her mind, change her ideology, her philosophy around life and how she chooses to live. She goes really intense in trying to lose the weight, but no matter what she does, she can't reach that the standard of beauty that the society wants her to be. Because there's some people you can lose weight and look good, and there's some people it's your body structure, your body type. There's some women that just have that broad shouldered, square body shape where you could lose 100 pounds, but you're still not going to have that figure of a Victoria's Secret model. It's just some people are, they just have a natural shape that's just more pleasing to the general public, and some women have a shape that's not what society is looking for. So losing weight should never be about the male gaze or society's view of yourself. It should always be about you, and what you're looking for and how healthy you're trying to be, because sometimes you just don't have the body type to be a model, and most people don't. The measurements that modeling agencies are looking for, they're looking for the 1% of beauty out there. All right. Actresses, magazine covers are not going to show you the average person in the world. They're going to look for the extremely attractive, sexual being that most of human beings cannot reach. All right. That's why, to be a model, you just have to beat the rest. You have to be, number one. That's the whole thing with modeling. It's not. It's based on how you look, and it's the person with the slim waist, the narrow body, the body type that is praised, because, well, that's what society wants. And again, beauty is definitely subjective. Again, the general society is always going to have a body type that it likes. I mean, for men, it's always the lean, strong looking, muscles, the hoorah type of guy. You see them in movies, you see them on TV. That's what's promoted. For women, it's always the slim waist, perfect picturesque body. And most people can't reach that. Elizabeth, I mean, for a lot of people like Elizabeth within this work, I mean, it does break into the way that you think about yourself, the way that you view life. Elizabeth, she's going through a lot of things. I mean, in terms of her romantic, sexual relationships, a lot of men that sleep with her or do sexual things with her, they see it as them doing a service. There's a coworker that has a sexual encounter with her in a cab, and he's like, "Listen, I'm doing you a favor. This is all for you. It's not for me." There's other guys that have these encounters with her, and again, it's always like she's the desperate one and they're the hero because they're doing something that nobody else will do, which is very sad that people are like, "Well, I'll do this sexual thing for you because, well, who else is going to do it? Who else is going to accept you?" And even her husband, Tom, it's not that he's in love with her. Again, I would say it's mostly his fetish with big women, why he marries her. And when she starts to lose a lot of weight, he goes more towards pornography. And even Elizabeth, she's working hard to lose the weight, but when she loses a bunch of weight, you have all this excess skin that does not look attractive. So she can go as hard as she wants within the gym, but you know, what do you do with the excess skin? I mean, that looks even, that does not look good. I mean, because loose hanging skin, it does not look good at all. Um, so there's what happens is within this work, Elizabeth, what happens is her building catches on fire, and she sees somebody working out in the gym, even though there's a fire burning, and the person really doesn't care because they're just going hard at the gym. And she comes to the realization that life is more important than rigorous exercise. And she starts to think about maybe living more for herself and her own happiness rather trying to reach an ideal that will make other people around her happy. The thing is, when you have a body type that's not preferred by the general public, there's nothing that you can do to make them see you as the next Victoria's Secret model. You just have to reach a place in life where you're happy with yourself, and in terms of romantic relationships, where you find someone that wants you for who you are and what you are. I mean, I know this sounds more like a fairy tale, because life is not that easy, but it's better to reach for that rather than trying to meet an ideal, or to be in a marriage with someone who just fetishizes you. So the end of this work is really nice because we can see Elizabeth moving towards, or she develops an ideology, a mental home where she's more thinking about her health, her happiness, and not obsessing over losing weight. Because when you are a big person, an obese person, I think society really bullies you and tells you that you are worthless until you lose the weight. And you can push some people towards suicide and depression, because some people who are overweight, they try, they work out, they do all that they can do to lose the weight, but they can't, because there's some people, it's just their body structure, their bodies are just built in a certain way. Even if they are healthy, even if their doctor proclaims them as healthy, they still don't look physically attractive. Or again, attraction is subjective. um some people might like a certain shape and some people might not. It really comes to finding a significant other that wants you for what you are. So that's the good news within this work. That's the good news that's going on. The other things, I mean, the sexual encounters with different people that Elizabeth have, they're pretty dark. It's either the men that she meets are fetishizing her, or they get drunk and they see her as beautiful for a while. And Elizabeth, it's in her family. I mean, her mother dies because of obesity and complications with that. So she has to also deal with her mother dying, and dealing with that mental thing of, my mom was overweight, my mom was obese, I'm obese, my mom died, and all the complications with her health and her legs, and look at me, I'm trying to lose weight, and look at how my life is. So there's so many layers to obesity and losing weight, and the food industry and the medical industry for the United States around weight and women. It is a thing that affects women more, because I think for men who are overweight, it's still an issue. But I think for women, because women are always held to a standard where they have to be beautiful, presentable, you will be heavily bullied and pushed down, because if you're not attractive as a woman, the world will make sure that you know it. The looks that the people give you, the comments that the people say behind your back, the smirks, the laughs, it is just, Elizabeth's life within this work just really sheds a light on that. And even if, she is doing her best to lose the weight and to be healthy, she is isolated and alone because people see her a different way, from her coworkers to her romantic partners to her friends. It's just, you know, it's a lot. In terms of deeper meaning analysis, I mean, we do see Mel and Elizabeth, they have different ways of looking at obesity, their weight, and sex. Mel is more like, hey, I'll just get this attention. If my weight is the attention that some people are attracted to, you know, my body size, body parts. I mean, if the fetish route, if the male gaze route. So Mel, she goes into that. Elizabeth, she goes in trying to be healthy, trying to fit in, and they both come to different results. Um, you know, again, image in society, especially in the social media era that we live in now, people have a lot to say about body, about shape, about how it looks, because that's just what's in right now. So this work is definitely, I mean, there's so much things that you can go into, but this is just a reality that will never end, because I mean, now we're in the age of body modification with all types of surgeries for people to get just the right shape, just the right size. And society, we're just obsessed with how we look. I mean, it's worse for women because women, you know, makeup and hair and all types of implants of all kinds for women. Um, Honestly, it can be quite torture, especially for Elizabeth here. I mean, at some certain point, it seems like torture because she is torturing herself trying to look good. But she doesn't really, you know, come to the point where she sees herself as this beautiful thing because, well, society will just let you know. People don't even have to say anything. They just look at you a certain way. They're just like, ugh, you know, the people just have that look on their face. It's just that right there. Ugh. You know, you come in and you're overweight, you're obese, and they give you that look, that side, that you know, they just, and it's quite sad because some people just want to live their lives and be happy, but if you just look too overweight, too obese, it will eat you alive. But this all ends in a happy ending because Elizabeth is like, hey, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to live my life and I'm not going to live for other people or society, but I'm going to make sure I live a good life. So it comes to a very interesting and I think a nice conclusion. All right, that's all I have to say about this work. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.